Welcome everyone to this August 22nd edition of What's Happening in Crypto with the Crypto Lark, broadcasting to you from New Zealand and bringing you all of the latest from the crypto world and beyond. Today's top stories: harsh lessons for cryptocurrency investors, Paul Krugman warming up to the idea of Bitcoin, and project updates galore. Into our first story of the day: after the Bitcoin boom, hard lessons for cryptocurrency investors. A lot of people who got involved in Bitcoin back in December or January probably had expectations looking something like this.
I'm Gatsby.
However, a lot of investors probably ended up looking like this sad fellow here. Now, the article from CNBC gives a lot of examples of people really leaping before they looked, running out and buying the hype. They got caught up in the fear of missing out. Everyone wanted to make that quick buck. A few stories here, like a Reddit user who took out a $100,000 loan to buy crypto. This goes right back to that idea. Don't put your life savings in. Don't take a loan. Don't buy Bitcoin on a credit card. All of those things, none of them are good ideas. And if you do go out and do those things, well, this may be you.
It's not your fault.
Oh my God.
Paul Krugman is back in the news again. Yes, the famous Bitcoin pessimist, being a little less pessimistic than usual. And even though we have called out Paul Krugman quite a few times here on the channel, credit where credit is due, he at least has come out and said that Bitcoin has more utility than dead gold. Although a very interesting part of his overall commentary was that he did tell the panel he only halfway understands Bitcoin. Now, previously he mentioned things like Bitcoin has set the monetary system back 300 years, for example. To see him actually coming out and admitting that he only half understands Bitcoin and that it may be more useful than gold, I feel like we're making some steps here with Paul. And if even a hardcore skeptic like Paul Krugman can slowly make their way towards more optimistic views towards Bitcoin, we might be heading in the right direction. I have this strange feeling that in like 2 or 3 years, Paul Krugman may become one of the biggest advocates for Bitcoin. Once he finally understands what it is, he may become a convert. But we shall have, of course, to wait and see. Over in South Korea, the National Assembly discusses ICO ban and the blockchain island. Now, these are just discussions that are happening. Obviously, we do want to see some official announcements coming out saying that yes, we have officially reversed that ICO ban, and yes, that we will be allowing Jeju Island to become the blockchain island. Hopefully we see both of those things happening in South Korea soon. I have a feeling that the South Koreans do not want to be left behind by the innovation train that is leaving the station. Oh, Bitmain, back in the news once again. DST Global denying the Bitmain IPO investment a few days after SoftBank and Tencent have come out also saying that they have not invested in the Bitmain IPO. Now, these people were all thought to have invested in the Bitmain IPO, but I feel like the Bitmain IPO is starting to look a little bit like this.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone.
Unsurprisingly, of course, with a big IPO for a company like Bitmain working in the crypto industry, of course, there was always going to be a lot of FUD around this IPO, and the FUD does continue. Bitcoin Cash use in commerce sees significant decrease. Now, everyone that watches the channel does know that I have been quite critical of Bitcoin Cash over time, but I do think this article is being a little unfair to them because all cryptocurrencies have seen a big decrease in the overall volume that they're doing. Bitcoin, for example, has gone from, on the same time frame, down from $412 million to only around $60 million in May. Bitcoin Cash dropping to $3.7 million in May from the high of $10.5 million in March. It's not just a Bitcoin Cash thing, it's an all crypto thing at the moment, although Bitcoin Cash, I think, has been struggling to really meet the expectations of their community in terms of getting new people on board and actually in convincing people in commerce that Bitcoin Cash is indeed Bitcoin. People are looking and saying, no, actually Bitcoin is Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash. Soviet fertilizer lab reopens in Russia as a cryptocurrency farm. We've seen a few of these announcements coming out of Russia. This is actually in the Leningrad district. This is actually something that the Leningrad district, which is where St. Petersburg is, did come out and say that they were going to be trying to attract more cryptocurrency miners to the district, and it seems that that is indeed taking place. Obviously, we do have to always keep in mind that, well, where is that electricity coming from? Are they having to burn natural gas, for example, to get the electricity? I know that a lot of the Russian electricity grid does run off of hydro and, well, about 7%, I think, last time I checked the numbers. And, of course, a lot of it, though, running off of atomic energy, which is a poisoned chalice when it comes to energy. So, good and a bad thing, but the Bitcoin mining industry is expanding in Russia. This is an interesting article as well. Stop worrying about how much energy Bitcoin uses. This researcher in particular commenting that new technologies such as data centers, computers, before them trains, planes, and automobiles are often energy intensive. Over time, all of these have become more efficient. A natural progression of any technology saving energy equates to saving costs. And we see that is a big part of the Bitcoin mining equation. Every year, the Bitcoin mining machines become more and more efficient because it increases profitability. We don't really hear a lot of people going out every day complaining about how data centers are using up so much energy globally, for example, even though they are using a lot of energy globally. Obviously, every home computer that is switched on, we take these all as givens, but Bitcoin is frequently touted for criticism, largely because it's Bitcoin. But nevertheless, the energy equation does need to be worked on, and it is being worked on all the time, and it will continue to develop as time does move on. Binance and LCX collaborating to launch the Fiat2 cryptocurrency exchange in Liechtenstein. Awesomeness. LCX is the Liechtenstein crypto asset exchange. Teaming up with Binance is a massive step for them, and of course will help Binance fulfill its dreams of having that euro to crypto gateway. 10x. Yes, 10x, they're still out there, and they still haven't delivered cards. But the card delivery may be nearing. Final card design has been approved by the issuer. Physical cards are ready. I will believe it when I see it, but it seems that 10x cards may be being delivered to some jurisdictions. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be a global rollout, and that many nationalities, many jurisdictions will be excluded from this when it does happen. But nevertheless, if we did see some of these actually rolling out, that would be a very positive step for 10x. Polymath teaming up with V-Stock Transfer to make their compliant security tokens a reality. Security tokens have been a hot topic this year, even though everyone's been being distracted by the Bitcoin ETF and all this fun stuff. Security tokens will be a big feature of the crypto economy. The Tomo Chain Public Testnet 2.0 has been announced. Great to see Tomo Chain continuing to move forward. Obviously, we'll see a lot of new blockchains entering the fray very soon. Electrify Asia will be doing an airdrop. So if you are an Omise Go token holder and also an Electrify Asia token holder, you will be airdropped some Electrify Asia tokens. If you want to participate in that, you do need to be holding either of those tokens. And if you do hold both of them, then you'll be eligible for a double airdrop. And the final story of the day, the Rohingya turn to blockchain to solve identity crisis. Now, in case you're not familiar with the story, the Rohingya have been persecuted by the state of Myanmar. They are a Muslim minority living in Myanmar, but Myanmar does not recognize them as citizens, denies them passports, denies them identity cards, and nobody else wants them. The Bangladeshis don't want them, the Indians don't want them. And so they're really stuck in a serious situation in terms of who are they? They don't have a state, they don't have identities, and it's really hard for them to prove who they are. And so certain members of the community have been turning to blockchain for blockchain-based identification. We all take it for granted that we can get a driver's license or have a birth certificate. But for people who can't prove those things, life can be very hard. Imagine trying to get a bank account or a loan if you don't have a driver's license or a passport or a tax number or a birth certificate. It becomes nearly impossible. So this is a very interesting innovation for blockchain to help empower some of the least empowered communities in the world. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. Let me know what you think about any of the stories down below in the comment section. Thumbs up the video and share these videos around the internet to help our community grow. Join the conversation over on Twitter or on Telegram. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.